Less alert to signs of froth. If you look at each one of those companies, you look at Zoom, you look at Pinterest, you look at Beyond Meat, each one of them had incredible viral growth because the products are beloved. And when you see these kind of products coming to market, I'm not particularly worried about them because I think they have lots of headroom. It's when I see things that are kind of weaker as they come into the marketplace, not surging with strength as these are, but kind of sort of falling off on their growth. Those are the ones that I'd worry about a lot more than those, because I think each one of those are potential category winners.
Would you put Uber in that category?
Oh, absolutely. If you think of the fact that if you look at Uber, Uber's on the way to, if not putting out of business, 5 different categories, large categories within transportation, cabs, rental cars, other different pieces of that marketplace. You see very, very large market opportunity. They're clearly the #1 player. And I think they've got a lot of headroom ahead of them.
Joel, to me, the idea of a SoftBank IPO is the first sign of a tech stock apocalypse. I mean, this is a guy who's been inflating the values of these startups for years to the point where the whole market is skewed. And now he wants to sell that to investors early. I mean, what would that mean? What would that do if that were to actually happen?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. It is a flashlight signal. I don't know if it's yellow right now or if it's red, but you really got to kind of question the irony of a guy trying to IPO a fund that essentially went and scooped up a lot of these companies that would have IPO'd a long, long time ago if he hadn't bought them. So, I mean, I guess we'll see if this actually comes about. You know, what the market truly, what the market values some of his investments. And maybe they've gone pear-shaped a little bit, but it's definitely a little bit concerning when you see these. It definitely has that element of froth. And I think Paul hit the nail on the head. There's been some very good companies that have debuted in April, whether it was Pinterest, Zoom, Jumia Tech. But then you look at in the years past where the companies that are decelerating are getting hammered, whether it's Snapchat had a rough ride, Blue Apron, and kind of we'll see what other names in the pipeline bring. Obviously, WeWork's coming up, Slack, some of those names as well.
Yeah, Paul, just to dig into that a little bit more, certainly we could take it on a case-by-case basis and talk about the strong traction of these products of some of the companies that are going public. But when you do see a SoftBank considering, at least reportedly, an IPO, is it a market top? Is this a top in terms of that IPO pipeline and what's coming out and what that means for the coming years in the market?
Yeah, I actually have to completely disagree with that line of reasoning. When I see something like a SoftBank Vision Fund coming out and thinking about an IPO, it's just simply an indication of how the world of venture and private equity has evolved over the last 15 or 20 years. We've talked about this before, where when I made the movie Something Ventured, it was about chronicling dreamers, people that were inventing new marketplaces. Now, move forward, and we're talking about disruptors. We're talking about people that are going into the largest markets in the world, transportation with an Uber, media with a Netflix, and so forth. And so I think we're seeing a couple of different things. I think the mention of these companies, one, they're bigger and they're healthier as they come out, and two, they're going after much larger market opportunities. So I think Vision, by being able to kind of pour into these, they are just showing a lot of vision, to be quite honest. They've invented effectively a new category at the top of the stack in venture where they can come in and they can be the sort of the capper that anoints the winner while they're still a private company. And there are a bunch of other after effects of that if we have time I can talk about in terms of the impact to the other companies in the space when they don't get that Vision Fund investment.